All right, before we get started, guys, the wait is finally over. DraftKings officially live in Ohio. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports teams anytime, anywhere, right here in the state of Ohio. So for a limited time, new customers who sign up with promo code P3Browns will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. Like this weekend with the Browns taking on the Steelers, take that $200 in bonus bets and bet on the Cleveland Browns. Guys, DraftKings has the best features, including same-game parlays, player props, and more with fast and easy payouts right at your fingertips. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Again, new customers can use promo code P3Browns to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on anything. Only at DraftKings with code P3Browns. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Ohio. Valid one offer per first-time depositors who have not already redeemed $200 in free bets via pre-launch offer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as bonus bets. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DKNG.com/OH for terms.
Part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
45-50, 45-40, run, William, run! He's got blockers in front, 5, touchdown! Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score! Kick blocked! They blocked the kick!
All right, welcome into the Orange is Oranger, Cleveland Browns podcast. I'm Holly, that's Tyvis, and Tyvis, we are coming off a win. We got to win. I didn't think we were going to get a win, but we got to win. So, I don't know what to do.
You really thought that we was going to lose to the Commanders?
Sure did.
Did you pick against them? Because remember last week, I told you it wasn't even going to be close. And
you said, well, no, you're like second.
Feather in my cap.
Your second prediction was watch the Browns dominate, blah, blah, blah. It'd be the most Browns thing ever. So, like, your first, I have to go back and listen, but your first prediction was not any type of domination. So,
I mean, they didn't really dominate, did they? I mean, 14-point win, is that considered a dominant win?
No, but for the Browns.
That's sad. Don't do that. when they beat Cincinnati earlier in this season on Halloween, that was a dominant win. Like that was like hard to finish. They have yet to have that performance again. So yes, they got a win. You know, it was nice. Obviously, that first half was very shaky. Nick Chubb looked like Nick Chubb again. That was one of the bright spots to me because it was interesting. Everybody wanted to know, you know, how would things be now that Deshaun Watson is there? Would these two be able to coexist? And to me, him playing the way that he played led to Deshaun Watson doing what he was doing. Led to him having a good second half and opening up things for him in that in the passing game. The funniest thing that happened though was my boy Deshaun Watson.
I know what you're gonna say.
He avoided 2 sacks, scrambled around. And he checked it down to Jack Conklin. I literally was laughing so hard that I almost peed on myself. It was that funny. Like, wow, this boy
Jack just, you know, I mean, that was something. That first half was rough. I mean, that was really hard to watch.
Well, listen, the defense was rolling. I mean, Carson Wentz he was a philanthropist out there. He just giving them away. Boy turned into Oprah Winfrey. You get one, you get one, you get one. So thank God they was able to capitalize on that little Buckeye crime. Our former guy that we had on here, Denzel, had come up with the first pick, and it was nice to see that because, you know, everybody's been high and been low on him this year. He's actually been a lot of fans talk about trading Denzel, and I'm just like, whoa, whoa. I don't know about all of that.
Yeah, I'm not looking to trade him, but he needed to step it up. I mean, there was no doubt about that. He kind of hit the brakes there for a while, for a good chunk of the season. So it was exciting. Him and Grant Delpit, you know, I mean, I know you're.
Oh, you talking about the
finally,
scapegoat. Oh my goodness, the scapegoat. I sat here and defend. You know how many weeks I had to defend Dale Pitt. I had to get America. I had to get Cleveland off of them. I'm like, yo, whoa, let me explain to y'all why they.
Well, there wasn't a lot to defend there for a while.
It was because the majority of the time it wasn't his fault.
Okay.
It wasn't like a lot of the time he just was the guy in the area, but it wasn't his play to make. And I'm just like, let me explain to y'all how certain things go. But yeah, so
it was good.
Grant, if you listen and just know that Tyvis had your back, Tyvis looked out.
You did. You were one of the only few. Yeah, I mean, it was, we saw some glimpses. I mean, thank God the second half, they made some major adjustments and, Watson
wait, they did. Whoa! They did what?
They actually made some adjustments. They finally did. They finally did at the half.
That's a big word.
Sure is, but they finally freaking did it. Like I don't know. It's so hard right now with this team because they're so up and down. I mean, there were some bright spots for sure. I mean, it was night and day from first half to second half. But we did see some glimpses, especially of Deshaun in the second half. He went on, he talked a little bit about, we got in a rhythm instead of pressing and just falling into what the Commanders were doing on defense. We started controlling the game. You could see the tempo, the urgency of everything. And I agree. His tempo of the game is going to be, I think, one of the biggest differences for our offense. And we're able to get down the field a lot quicker with him when he is in his final prime, right? Like finally hitting his prime, I should say. So I don't know. Were you pleased with his performance?
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to see is him get that one touchdown a week thing off. It was nice to see him get, 3 consecutive touchdowns. He made a couple of throws. Obviously, after the game, they asked him what was his favorite throw, and he said the touchdown throw to DPJ. It was nice to see Amari Cooper do what he did. I mean, it wasn't the throws that Deshaun made. It was more of the fact that Amari Cooper did what he did after catching the ball. The best throw on the day was probably that hide fade that he threw to Njoku when they were in cover 2. That he threw a demon over there. I was woo-wee. I said, okay, so he still got the arm strength. So I think that was his best pass. He was able to dissect, that they were going to be in cover 2. I probably break this down actually on the Cleveland show on Wednesday, but he was able to dissect that they were in cover 2. So what they did was I think Kareem Hunt was in the game. And then anytime as a defender, if you're playing like in the secondary and you see a running back that's out at 1, we count that as a non-skill, especially if he's off the ball, which more times than not he is. And when that number 2 is on the ball, you can always assume that he's running the hide fade. Hide fade means that number 1, meaning the running back, is going to run a hitch route, and the guy that's on the ball, the number 2 wide receiver, which in this case was David Njoku, he's gonna run that seam route. He's gonna run that little fade, and they run it so he got more space to fade towards the out of bounds. He threw him a good ball, put it on his outside shoulder. He's ever make the play, and yeah, that's what happened on that play. And I thought that was his best ball on the day.
Why do you think Deshaun threw last game for, I think it was like 30 some passes, and then this game it was 19 maybe?
Well, I think they're just trying to get that. Last week, I think that they wanted
because clearly, I mean, I don't know. Do you think they wanted him to throw a lot because it was cold and just like go out there? I mean, I don't know. Now I'm starting to look back at some of this and think, was there a rhyme or reason to?
I think that's what it was. It's about trying to get him to get as comfortable as he can throwing the ball and getting chemistry. And obviously the conditions, everybody's like, the conditions are terrible. Well, if you go back and you look, they actually explained that, going towards the dog pound, there was no way you could throw the ball. Your only chances to throw the ball was going away from the dog pound, and that's when they did it. And then a lot of his throws came on the last drive anyways. I think he had like 17 throws when they were down, and I think that's where the bulk of his throws came anyways. But it's about getting chemistry. It's literally about getting chemistry, and it's all focused on next year, which is something that he said after the game. He said he wanna make sure that going into this offseason, they ready to go, and next year is on. So I think they're just trying to get him comfortable.
Yeah, Deshaun said too that he said we had to wake up as a whole. There wasn't much to say at halftime. We knew what we had to do, and that was the game. That was to make the game simple for us. And they did. I think again, it's hard because
Carson Wentz is terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, boy, they were booing him Ooh, buddy.
And they just was not gonna put Taylor Heineke in, and
They
was
were
ready
not.
they died on that hill, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, after 2 picks, he is out of there.
He should have been. I'm shocked. I don't know. Then again, I heard
Taylor Heineke he needs 60% to get his bonus, and he had 58% of snaps played. Yeah, that's true.
Is it really?
Is that what you was about to say?
No. I was gonna say, then again.
They say he had 58% of snaps of the year, and if he gets to 60, they gotta pay him a bonus.
Ooh, I would be pissed. I'd be real pissed.
That's
but that cost him the playoffs. I mean, not put him. I don't know. Then again, what I was gonna say is that Rivera also thought before the game. I think it was before the game. I don't know if it was the day of or day before. That he didn't know that they were going to be eliminated from the playoffs if they lost today. Lost over the weekend. Plus, I don't know. I got to look here again what other teams had. But how do you not know that? He's like, is that really? We're going to be out of the playoffs. Like, how do you not know your head coach? What are you talking about?
Because that's not something that you really think about. What
do you mean? Of course it has to be what you think about. You have to know the circumstances of whether or not you're going to make the playoffs. That's ridiculous.
Why should that change the way you prepare for this game?
Well,
your job is to go out there. That's what I'm saying. Your job is to go out there and make sure you coach this team up to win the game. Whether the playoffs is on the line or not, you should still be going out there to win the game. So,
or die with Carson Wentz at QB
that
not
was
make
dumb.
playoffs.
That was dumb, but I'll take his dumbness and be okay with it, because if we can go in 2-0 going into the offseason, I definitely would take that.
Yeah. Browns are 5-0 when they win the turnover battle this season, by the way. Here's some other stats I got. What else did I want to tell you? I think there was something else I wanted to tell you on here. It was great. I mean, the second half, certainly some shining moments. You just want it to continue. And when we look to, we'll talk about Pittsburgh here in a few minutes, but it's just been a crazy season. I mean, would you say this is definitely the most controversial season, right? I mean, did you really think that we were gonna?
Did you think this was controversial than last year?
Well, yeah, because of the whole Deshaun thing.
The whole Baker thing.
How about Baker in LA?
They ain't saying a lot after this last game, are they?
Isn't that funny? The Baker loyals, are like, see, I told you. And then when this happens, they're nice and quiet.
That's just how I don't really pay attention to it no more. Like his game, they had it on red zone, and I've seen a couple passes. It doesn't matter. Like it has nothing to do with the Browns.
It doesn't. I'm glad we moved on from him, obviously, and it's just wild. I think back to, I remember I was on a run in March outside. It was like decent, and when the news came down about Deshaun, and it's just been such a roller coaster of a year. Nothing's been consistent. So next year really is hopefully the beginning of something beautiful. But
they going to the air raid, so I love the keep staying there. They moving to the air raid offense. They about to do what Tennessee do and throw the ball.
Who's coming back and who's not next year? Coaching wise.
To me, I don't
think
Stefanski. I almost cussed. Yes, it's Kevin. Kevin will be back. Kevin 1000% will be back. Everybody else, as far as OC, DC, and special teams coordinator, I think that's a big limbo. I don't think, to me personally, I don't think any of them will be back. I think they will give him to Jim Harbaugh. I said that. I think I said that a little bit last week. I think they're going to get rid of the OC, DC, and special teams guy. Let him get somebody new in there, and then if it doesn't work out next year, then they know who to point the finger at. So I think that's the way that it's going to go. Even people and there's people that call in on the post-game show like, now that Joe Woods is doing this, is he doing enough to stay? And I think the answer is I don't care what he does. I think he has to leave because the fans is the ones that's going to keep wanting him out the door. And at some point, you can't just get hot for the last 4 or 5 games of the year. Like, you've done it 2 years in a row. They need some consistency. You have to be able to do it for 17 games, and that's your job to get these guys ready. But I think he was a professional when he took the question and he put it all on him. He said the run game is not good because of me, and I respect that. You know, he ain't throwing nobody under the bus, which is something that a lot of players respect. And he just take it all and say it's all on me. He got to be better, and well, I don't think he'll be here next year, but hopefully Steve. I'm sure he'll land on his feet somewhere.
I'm sure he will, and AVP will definitely, I'm sure, find somewhere he can call those plays, and I think that I'm good with some of the regime change. Stefanski, I'm still kind of on the fence about. Like I said, I feel like we have to.
You'll find out next year for sure.
Yeah, we will. For better or worse, I'm okay with sticking with him because I don't know who would be a better option at this point, and that would have to be someone that's like legit. So I don't know. I feel like actually, Tyvis, I'm way more understanding and light this week than I have been in the past. Would you say?
Wait a minute. You
wouldn't you say that?
You sound like Tyvis.
Don't go that far.
I'm just saying.
Well,
sound a little Tyvis to me.
Well, you know what? When the team plays well, even for 2 quarters to win the game, I'm gonna,
it makes
give credit where credit's due.
Listen. The Browns are undefeated in 2023. That's important.
Gosh,
there's not a lot of teams. It's not a lot of teams that can say that. Just saying. 2023, True. Browns are undefeated.
Well, we have one more game left, Pittsburgh. So we'll take a quick break and come back and talk about the damn Steelers.
Hey everybody, it's Sam Amico from Cavs on the Break NBA podcast. Be sure to give us a listen for all your Cleveland Cavaliers recaps, analysis, breakdowns, draft talk, free agency. The list goes on and on. Give us a listen, Cavs on the Break NBA podcast.
Looking for new insights on the Cleveland sports scene with a unique side of Cleveland sports history? Then you found the perfect podcast. I'm John Sable.
And I'm Scott Sable, and we're hosts of the Sable Brothers on the Baseline podcast, a podcast about Cleveland sports, but not your typical podcast about the land's sports teams. Join us as we embark on a journey of sharing a unique and historical side of Cleveland sports history with the help of some former Cleveland sports stars and other historical figures.
All right here on the Sable Brothers on the Baseline podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Before we get to Pittsburgh, Holly, I got to tell everybody about my friends at DraftKings, because the wait is finally over. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is officially live in Ohio. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime and anywhere right in Ohio with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers who sign up with promo code P3Browns will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. How I'm spending my $200? Well, with the Browns game coming up against Pittsburgh and it being a big game, I'm definitely picking the Browns to win. Nick Chubb needs 160 yards rushing. I think I'm going to put some money down on that. And I got Deshaun Watson scoring 2 touchdowns through the air. That's how I'm going to bet my $200 this week. DraftKings has the best features, including same-game parlays, player props, and more with the fast and easy payouts right at your fingertips. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers can use promo code P3Browns to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on anything. And I mean anything. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code P3Browns. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and older. Physically present in Ohio. Valid one offer per first-time depositor who has not already redeemed $200 in free bets via pre-launch offer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issue as bonus bets. Eligibility restrictions apply. See dkng.com/OH for terms.
All right, let's talk some Pittsburgh Steelers. Tyvis, this is a big game for, I think, both of us because, they need our win. And we could stop them from getting into the playoffs, which would be amazing. Second to actually getting in the playoffs ourselves. If we could stop the Steelers from getting in, would be awesome.
That would be nice. But you know what now? Myles Garrett said that if they didn't have a chance, that they would just play spoiler. And this game has so much meaning to it now. And before it was like, yeah, it's just another game. It's so much more to it now. They have an opportunity to do something that they haven't done since 1988, and that's sweep the Steelers in the season. So that's one. Two,
yes.
Were
you born in '88? You weren't born yet.
No, I was 6 years later, girl.
Oh, God. I was later. 4. I was 4.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody that. You look, girl. I thought you was 21. You that old? 21.
You know what? A lot of people say 28. So I'll take
anyways. They got who you battling for potentially last place in the division or the third place. You be like, hey, we didn't come in last. We came in third place. That sounds better, right?
Yeah.
Stopping them from getting in. And obviously it's a rivalry game. So it's a lot of things that this game has a lot of juice to it. Plus, Pittsburgh turned it around, man. This could be the first year Tomlin goes under 500. Like they
be huge for us.
They get from us. It's a lot to play for. You can get up with it. Then on top of that, on top of all of what I just said, you got people that you don't know your future here. So you playing for tape.
Yeah.
You plan to potentially make this roster again or a roster. And on top of that, you might as well leave it all out there anyways. You're going on vacation the next week anyway.
Yeah, I think, right, it could really go either way. Like, I could see the Browns coming out. I mean, there's certainly something still to play for, the rivalry, all of those things that you just mentioned. But then also, I never count Pittsburgh out. I mean, even this season, there was not much hope for them in general. And they've turned around. And I think a lot of that has to do with Mike Tomlin. And I just cannot count them out. I hope that there's no, breaks being pushed as we go into this game, because of the last week's win. The Browns tend to obviously do that after a win. It's like they kind of take a step back, and it's very, very frustrating. So for them to go in and beat Pittsburgh, take away their chances of the playoffs, end on a high note with such a roller coaster of a season, I think that would be huge. It would certainly make things a little bit easier to deal with than how they have been, because every game's been a crapshoot. Every week's been a crapshoot. We never knew what defense was showing up, or we were pretty skeptical, for that matter. And then having a big regime switch with the quarterbacks. I mean, it's just, there's not just been any real consistency, and no real stability. So I'm looking forward to them taking something like this at the end of the season, running with it, and ending on a high note. I hope that they, have something to play for.
They do. And I think that's the thing. The one thing that we can say about this team is that they do get up for game. They got that energy and they got passion. It was going to be interesting to see how they came out for this game, because now that they're out of the playoffs, will they still fight hard? And I thought that they did. I mean, they were still out there having fun, making plays. Yeah, so you might as well go out. This is the last time that this team is going to be together. Obviously, like I said, the roster is going to change a lot. So you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy it one last time, because you just never know. I'm sitting here watching the Monday night game right now, and his prayers up for this DeMar Hamlin guy, because he made a tackle and then he just passed out. And it's a very scary.
Really?
Yeah, it's very scary right now. They got their ambulance coming out and everything. It's not good at all. It's scary. So when you get out they need to get out on that field and leave it all out, because you just never know when it could be over with.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, even look at Tua too. In Miami. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to go out and play anymore. It's true. These guys, they put their lives on the line. They make a lot of money. And it's not worth half-assing it, really, in any way, shape, or form. Oh, damn. I see it.
He stood up and just passed out.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly scary, and those things can change in a matter of an instant. So, you want them to not take what they have for granted every week, and we all do, right? I think that's a general consensus of everyone in their lives with their own things, but I didn't want this year to be a waste. I did not want it to, and there was many times where I still feel like it was, and
it's two
it
games
is,
that it's like 2 or 3 games. Everybody they're gonna think of the Saints game, they're gonna think of the Chargers game, and they're gonna think of that darn Jets game.
Because then it would have changed the whole trajectory. We would be sitting here talking about the real possibility of playoffs with a couple of those. With the Chargers and the Jets win, we would have.
All we had to do was win the Saints game. We be in Pittsburgh's position because it was like 15 things that needed to go in that needed to have, like 12 of them has happened already. So it's like they would have been right there on the outside looking in, and they still could have had a potential to get in. So, but I like I say, going into this game, to me, Pittsburgh is on a new wave right now. I mean, I'm not saying Kenny Pickett is the greatest thing, but he's got that offense going pretty well. George Pickett and those receivers are still tough. So it'll be a nice challenge for our secondary. I mean, the last time we played, I remember J3 went up against Najee, and Najee won that battle. So I know it's going to be some get back. Plus, Pittsburgh is obviously they're going to be upset that they lost the first game. So I think the juice and the energy is going to be there. Deshaun Watson's first game.
Watt's back.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's first game in this rivalry in Pittsburgh, man, it's gonna be interesting to see how the fans treat him. It'll be kind of interesting.
That's a good point. I was actually going to look at the weather here because I don't know what it's going to be. I think it's going to get cold again, but not where. No, I'm not going. Crazy.
Why
35.
Not?
Why? That's in Cleveland, so it's got to be about the same in Pittsburgh.
You went to the Carolina game.
Well, yeah, because that was Baker in the opener and the whole thing.
This is Deshaun Watson in the rivalry game.
Oh, what a story that would be, too, if he came out and just spanked him. That
would be crazy.
That'd be great. Well, what's your prediction? Do you think they're going to win?
I do believe they're going to win for sure. I do. I think for what I would like to see is, you remember how we in the first 15, our first drive, we always scored? Yeah, I like to see that again. I like to see that because they've shown already that they can make adjustments and execute the adjustments from last game. So I need them to come out, start fast, make adjustments in the second half, and close the game out. That's what I would like to see. I think this secondary will get tested. Kenny, like I say, George Pickens and Deontay Johnson they are really good players, and I would like to see our corners because they've been balling lately. Especially Denzel been in his bag lately, and they've been Dale Pippen getting all these picks. I want to see if they can close the season out on a high note and at least give us some hope going into next year that, hey, they finished the season high, making plays on the ball. Like, that's the type of thing that you want. That's the motivation that you need. So I do think they get it done. However, TJ Watt is something serious. He is something serious, and they got to find a way to stop him, which nobody has been able to do. So it'll be,
or at least maintain him.
They got to find something to do to get make plays with him on the field. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they got to find a way to get it done.
Well, then maybe that'll be Joe Woods, Joe Woods and the whole coaching staff's final hurrah of the year.
Just spank them 41-10. Wouldn't that be so? 41-10. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. It would piss me off.
I know.
It would piss me off.
I know. I mean, that's why they're so frustrating because of the roller coaster of the ups and downs. They're the most bipolar team.
Yeah, that's really true.
And they make us, the same way because of just the extreme highs and the extreme lows. It's just, I think when they were losing all the time, the consistency was that they were losing all the time. So there wasn't that much of a, we just got used to it. There wasn't any, hope given to us. So there was nothing else to expect. But now that they won, they've proven that they can win and make the playoffs. It was a
COVID year. It was a COVID year.
Yeah, no one did anything, and all they had to do was play football, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, they got to do it outside the COVID year.
They gotta, and I think they gotta play in the preseason. They gotta play starters in the preseason. I'm gonna die on the hill.
You one of them now, huh?
Sure am.
Oh my God.
That's chemistry. That's chemistry built there.
It's meaningless.
No, I don't think it is.
They should get,
but that's fine.
They should get some enough reps to at least sustain. Like one series is not enough. I think you need to play first game.
They don't have to play the whole game, but they got. I would say a good quarter at least.
As I say, first game quarter, second game half, third game not at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to think about that.
That's typically how it works. First game, quarter, second game, halftime,
or not at all. I mean, they don't play at all. I mean, that's asinine to me. But we got a long way to preseason. So, all right, you think they're gonna win?
Yeah, I say they're gonna win. I'm gonna say 24-21. K. York Walker.
Oh, I was just gonna say, At least we don't have Ohio State's kicker. What's the guy's name? Ruggles?
Hey.
Ooh, that was rough.
This is a Browns podcast. I would not discuss Ohio State things on this podcast.
We were texting. I was with my dad on New Year's texting you. My dad was talking about you being right. I'm like, oh, vomit.
I love him. I've never met the man, and I love him. Your dad is a wise guy.
Yeah,
wise man. You should really.
We were actually like, that's the first year I don't ever remember counting down the ball drop. Like, we just looked at each other, and it was already. He kicked it right at midnight.
Yeah, kicked it. He
was
kicked.
Wild.
So he kicked it before the ball dropped, and it landed after the ball dropped. So do you count that as a kick? Do you count his miss in 2022 or 2023?
No, I don't know. It doesn't change anything. They still lost, but they played their ass off, man. I well, not the defense. The offense sure did.
Yeah,
CJ was something.
Yeah, he was.
All right, we won't tell you're just stewing over there. You're stewing.
No, I'm not. You know what? It doesn't even bother. I've turned the page. It is what it is at this point. I'm one of those guys.
Sucks though.
Due to the fact that I play professionally, they always say we're gonna watch the tape, and then after that, you turn the page. And I've seen the game. I seen him miss the kick. The next day, I woke up. It was over. I was cool. Like, it is what it is. I feel bad for them. I do, because I want them to experience what I experienced. But next year, they're like the Browns say, it's always next year.
There's always next year. Waiting for next year internally. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my prediction is. I guess for the last one, I'll say that they win. I'll say that they win.
Thank you. What did you do last week? Did you say they lose?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tell them, say they lose then. Say
okay. Well, they're gonna lose to Pittsburgh.
There we go. Okay.
21-14. They're gonna lose.
If they lose 21-14, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah. Well, you made me do this, so this is on you. You remember
that. They ain't gonna lose. It's Miles versus TJ, so
Ooh, should be good. All right. Well, that does it for us on Orange is Oranger this week. We will be back next week to send off the finale of the season. To look back. Maybe we'll try and have a guest. It's probably time for that. We'll work on it.
Go Browns, Holly.
Go Browns.
There you go.
Go Browns. How's that, Tyvis?
Very enthusiastic. I like it.
We'll take it.
You got potential, kid.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be like you. Close up the episode. All right, we will see you guys next week. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff on Apple Podcasts and wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a comment. Give us 5 stars. And we're out. Go Browns.